Alright guys, hello and welcome back. It's time for the round of 16 matchup. It is going to be Flash Gaming facing off against Spicy Waffles in this one. As picks and bans already underway. Athena getting taken straight off the table. No one wants to deal with any of her I go anywhere on the map I please shenanigans.
Yep, we'll see exactly how they're going to play out this one. Athena's going to be banned, like you said. Sylvanas is going to be banned away as well by Spicy Waffles. They don't want to see that, so neither of these supports going to make it through. But that what generally means, though, is that a jungler's going to slip through, or one of these dirty hunters.
Yeah, definitely a possibility for them as things go forward. Still 2 more bans to be taken off the table. We saw Thor banned out last game. But didn't see much of that yesterday. I'll be curious if we see him banned out once again here today. Maybe EU still valuing him a little bit more. NA seeming to have either forgotten him or just kind of left him at the wayside because they haven't been picking him up at all recently. It is also going to be a Bellona ban coming out here.
Yep, Bellona is going to be taken away. I'm surprised by the Bellona ban coming out from them, though, because honestly, they are the ones that are going to get first pick. Guess they don't have a Bellona player, or they don't really want to deal with it, and they're not planning on first picking it. What is it they're looking for as a first pick, then? Is it going to be like Neith? Is it going to be Thor, Serket? I guess those are the 3 things that I can think of that will be left up, potentially, once one of the next bans come through. And there's a Thor ban, so...
Not going to be seeing him. Neith is definitely an option, has been pretty much top pick, top ban these days. She can be played again. One of these guys can kind of be stuck anywhere right now. There's other hunters, though. Apollo has been getting experimented with a fair bit in other lanes. We saw Medusa mid yesterday as well. So there's some options. Neith is going to be hovered over and locked in, so that answers that question. You know, good, strong early pressure. Because that Heartseeker being reduced in price and kind of rediscovered by so many players, she just does that much more damage early on. So much effect in lane, and with that World Weaver can help out across the map if she so desires as well.
Yeah, not surprised to see the Neith pick up then, because I mean, she's very strong, can go anywhere, as we were just mentioning. I'm surprised we've not seen her in the jungle yet. I mean, eventually she'll end up there one day. I can see it happening with how this is going right now.
I've actually seen a couple people try Shivalanka jungle. I've actually had to do that myself. You know, sometimes casuals, they do what they want. It's not bad after like level 3. Until then, it's just like, if anyone even realizes it's happening, you're just going to be failing horribly because they just invade, you die, and you're like, you just go back to base and cry for the rest of the game. That said, Ymir Poseidon picked up by Spicy Waffles. Ymir, one of these guys going over Poseidon, going to most likely be picked up by, Wolfie, I think, has played pretty much nobody but Poseidon, aside from the couple of games Poseidon gets banned out on here and there against specifically Wolfie. He does well on it. That burst setup, that potential damage coming up from the Kraken, the Whirlpool for those cripples can ruin many a day. And with Ymir coming out of potentially the jungle solo support role, Flurry Q likes to play that Ymir, so that gankage off the back of a blink can spell disaster with Poseidon standing nearby to follow up.
I mean, they could potentially play Ymir in the jungle as well, but it's not something we've really seen Ninja Bobat use too much. Yeah. I think the Ymir pick here is to try and force them to pick a support, just in case they could run Ymir in the jungle. Doesn't necessarily mean it, but they've got the priority on the support there. Really, Cabrakan and Bacchus. Bacchus seems to have fallen off again for some unknown reason. I'm not sure why. But Geb is going to be the selected god here for them over there. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with this one, because that means their lane's actually going to be okay if they run Neith in the hunter role, but they may not do that.
Well, somebody on the side of Spicy Waffles is going somewhere unusual, as Ares was just locked in. That will probably be the support. We don't typically see too many Ares run out elsewhere. A couple people will do it occasionally. He can work. He does a lot of damage. You just build him kind of like the whole, you know, we see so many Guardians these days in that soul lane. Ares, while not the best early game laning phase, it can still work. That said, Ymir, I expect to be the one kind of moving around out of that support role compared to, well, Ares will apply an absolute ton of pressure. Going into a Geb, the Stone Shield can remove that cripple quite quickly, but then again, later on, once those team fights start grouping up, do you remove the cripple from that Whirlpool and save somebody, or do you wait for Ares to drop those chains and save them from the Ares? Or even, you know, no escape as well once that's online.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see how this one works out for them then, because Ares has been picked up, and there's, like I said, the Ymir. That could actually be a solo lane Ymir as well. Game Hunter might run that one, I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see where they choose to put it now. And I think that's why they picked Ymir earlier, is because they're like, well, we can try and bait them into making a support here, or we can take another priority support if we quit, because they could have got Geb as well if Geb wasn't picked up there. So I think that makes a lot of sense. Cataban's coming through, though.
Agni Shibalanka in that case. I was just thinking about that as well. The Spicy Waffles team comp right now, a double hunter lineup to round things out would actually work quite well. They could have, if Ninja Bobat has been playing with that Ymir in the jungle, unless we actually are going to see a jungle 80 carry, which I don't think we will. You know, it's possible we've seen, you know, 3 weeks ago, we would not have expected to see triple Guardian, double hunter compositions coming out, but we're here now, and we're seeing that relatively often. There's Apollo getting picked up, or at least hovered over, and it does get locked in. We saw Game Hunter play that last week to quite good effect, so the double hunter is possibly there. We could also see maybe a Hun Bats come out for Ninja Bobat. We know he likes that god, and you use that combined with an Ares. Do you use the beads on the No Escape? Do you use the beads on the Fear No Evil? Do you save that to get out of a Whirlpool to avoid a Kraken? Do you use it on the Frost Breath? There'd be so much scary CC coming out of the team if they picked up a Hun Bats right now.
Yeah, if they do pick up the Hun Bats, indeed. I mean, it'll be interesting to see where they go with that. They're actually hovering over Cabrakan here, all these boys, and they picked up Rama as well, so they're going for the double Hunter composition as well as the Cabrakan. And as you said, this could be a jungler or a solo laner, I feel, here, coming out for Spicy Waffles, at where they're going to round out their composition. What do you think this is going to be? Do you reckon we'll see jungler, or...?
I think it basically just comes down to, has Ninja Boba been playing that Ymir? It could definitely go over there. At the same time, I don't know how much Bushy's been playing Apollo. It's someone everyone played a lot in Season 1 more as he was top tier pick, so it's not completely out of anyone's god pool. It is going to be that double Hunter, though, as Anhur was locked in. So, more likely than not, Jungle Ymir, Ninja Boba has just swapped it over. Anhur, Game Hunter.
Game Hunters Anhur. This is old school. Game Hunters Anhur. I'm excited to see this. Game Hunter was one of the... he used to play Hunter originally, did Game Hunter, before he got well known in the solo lane. But when he did first transition over, he played a lot of Hunters in that role. And a lot of people didn't. I mean, if you remember the early days of Game Hunter as well, he played like the likes of Kronos, for example. Everyone was like, Kronos is bad, but he made it work and he made it good. And he's a very good player. And seeing him back on Hunters, this could be an interesting game.
Yeah, he's a guy. He's a player well known from way back in the day, and is going down a little bit deeper into the god pool today, pulling out that Anhur. We'll see how that plays out up against the Flash Gaming roster. He's probably going to be going up against Fat Loki, Cabrakan himself, in that solo lane. So we'll see how that fares in just a minute when we're back with the match itself. All right, guys, hello and welcome back. Game 2 for the day. It's Spicy Waffles facing off against Flash Gaming. The team names are totally not backwards. They're totally correct, 100%. No one sees anything, Hindu.
No one sees anything, indeed, but what we do see is Spicy Waffles versus Flash Gaming. Spicy Waffles currently in the Challenger Cup, seeded second below the Pappies. Last week they defeated the Pappies. The first week they didn't have the best of runs, but they're back again this week with their lineup and Bushy Ninja Boba back in their original roles, as we started to see last week for them, Jungle and Hunter, respectively. Alexim, I believe, is going to be in the mid lane this time around, playing this Neith. We're going to be seeing Deathwalker on that Rama in the duo lane for Flash Gaming. Across the way, though, Game Hunters and her will be in the solo, and the Bushy will be on that Apollo that has started to make more of a resurgence.
Now, something I'm seeing here, it's been all about the Heartseeker recently. Just last night, Kret released, I can't remember the name that he gave it, the Resurrected Unicorn build. Starting with that Bloodforge, into the Ichival, there's the Executioner, the Brawler's Beatstick, as kind of a replacement to this whole just build all the crit in the game setup. Double Devour's going, so I'll be curious to see if those guys pick it up. We have an invade at Spicy Waffles to place an early ward. Flash Gaming, we're aware of it. They're starting to back Harpies. We may see a fight, but they may lose their speed buff. It's about to go down.
Yep, they're going to lose that buff over there. By the looks of it, looks like he's going to go over to them.
Yep.
So what? Yep. They did actually manage to steal on the way. I like the fact that they're just going to back away from that as well, though. They're not going to go in for an engagement. But now that they see they've just gone for the blue buff, now they'll reaggress. And Shadowfeet's in trouble there. Ymir level 2 is so powerful, but Ymir level 1 is just as good with that glacial carpet of doom.
And there's the level 2 for the Frost Breath to come on in. The slow applied as well. That is a rough early game start. The Dumba's Mask Passive Healing gave a little bit of extra time to Nemesis, but was not enough to keep Shadowfeet alive. That's going to be level 3 as well by the time Spicy Waffle, excuse me, Spicy Waffles, Flash Gaming is able to get back to this lane. Zuni is going to have a rough time, given the fact that Game Hunter's going to have ranged poke on him. He's going to have to just sit at his tower and turtle up for a good long while.
He is indeed, and we're going to see Alexim get pushed under his tower on that backside. With Nemesis dying as well, still only being level 1, just hit level 2. Has taken back camps on his own to try and catch himself up. The problem with this, though, is denying experience to the Neith in mid lane as well. And Neith needs to hold this experience to help Nemesis catch up. But she needs to be careful, because around the back comes Bobat, and already the backflip's been used. And she's going to be behind on experience overall in this lane now because of the fact that she's not going to be able to share the camps. So she'll be a little bit slower on hitting this level 5.
Absolutely. I'm going to take a quick little poke in at what's going on in that solo lane right now. Zuni is heading back to tower, waiting for the minions to advance over just to soak up some experience, try and get a little bit of incidental gold on the tail end of this one. The tower is going to be chewing away at the Zuni's gold pool going forward. And you can see already it's a 500 gold deficit almost going in favor of Game Hunter. And he's a player you do not want to see getting ahead because you know he's going to make those big plays. Even if he's not in the best position and to be this good of a spot this early on, it is going to be really rough to come back for from Zuni. That said, he's a tanky Guardian, so he doesn't have to worry too much about it, but he still doesn't want to find himself like completely irrelevant to the game later on because Game Hunter can just chew through him.
Yeah, this is what happens with a Ymir in the early game, though, from Spicy Waffles. Ymir has such great gank potential early on, nasty amounts of damage in his kit, as well as plenty of health. So the early game is all Ymirs in the jungle, and that's what you look to do, is bully the game early on. With a Nemesis across the way, she's got to wait until like 15-20 minutes, get a couple of items going to really be a big influence against this composition. She's going to have a rough time on like getting involved and being involved in this fight. You can see Bobat put the pressure on again.
Mid lane Glacial Strike hits for a little more. Shadowfeed not have used that Retribution to reflect or heal up any of that damage that did come in. They'll have back harpies respawning right now. Shadowfeed heading down to pick those back up. Desperately needs to get that farm solo just to help keep herself back in relevant in this game, catch back up. Not going to be hitting level 5.
We're going to see a rotation from Ninja Boba. They're not even going for the mid camps here. They're looking for kills in this left-hand lane. There is a no escape from Flurry Q. That's 2 dead. Duo lane as Apollo's even in the sky. Bushy going to secure that kill, and we're going to see Kakas try and get away if he can make it. So I don't think he's got it though, because guess who's waiting around the side? Guess who's waiting? Wolfie's not seeing him yet. Wolfie, behind you. There you go. There you go, buddy. Free kill.
Sometimes you look the right way and find people. He's going to look for that shockwave. He's not running the junk. Game Hunter finds a 1v1 kill in that solo lane. Wolfie with secures that kill with an in hand. So right now, Spicy Waffles off to a very, very strong start. Now, he said, and we weren't sure if Ninja Bobat has played that Ymir. Whether he has or has not.
It's not that he's not played the Ymir. He's not played it very competitive. He's not that sort of player that plays the Guardian role to an extent in the jungle. He's been more of the likes of the Hunbats, the assassin, aggressive jungler. It's not that, you know, Ymir's not aggressive. It's just that he doesn't never really go towards the Guardians for the most part. Yeah.
And as far as Guardians goes, well, Ymir's probably is one of the more aggressive ones in that jungle role. Cabrakan another one, but Ymir, especially once Blink comes online, not quite yet, but once he gets to that point, it's going to be a rough one because you'll see those blinks over walls and all those fun setups that Ymir can set up and start going out. So Ninja Bobat coming out strong so far with that Ymir. So far, participating in all but that one solo kill in that right lane. He's a force to be reckoned with, and he's, you know, he pretty much the furthest ahead in this game right now. This is not going to be an easy way to stop them right now.
No, it's not going to be an easy way to stop them at all, especially with Game Hunter on this as well. The early invade just really put Cabrakan so far behind in terms of levels. He's done a good job of catching up, and he's only a level behind right now, actually. So I think he's probably 2. Yeah, about a level and a half behind at the moment. But with Ninja Bobat coming up for a gank, as well as Flurry Q, poor Cabrakan has nowhere to run.
And you see the way they're playing this right now. Flurry Q didn't rush straight in to look for that kill. He's waiting behind the wall. Which way is Cabrakan going to decide to run? If he goes left towards the Fire Giant, I'll go that way. If he just tries to run back straight to his tower, I can go that way. He was waiting there to cut off the option. Worst case scenario, Cabrakan says, you know, I'm going to run towards your side of the map, in which case, well, we can just have Wolfie rotate over there and cut your path of retreat off, and we'll catch you anyway. So Spicy Waffles off to a very strong early game start and doing whatever they possibly can to make sure they don't lose what is currently a very strong, very firm stranglehold on this match.
Well, we've got Devour's Gauntlets coming out for both the Hunters and the duo lane here. You can see the Bushy's already started stacking his, and across the way now Deathwalker's just gone back, and he's going to be 8 stacks behind for the time being, at least for the next wave coming. So he's going to have to play catch up on that one. Game Hunter is still doing work to that tower in the solo lane though. Zune is going to lose that tower sooner rather than later. That's going to cause a few issues once again for his farm potential. Yeah.
And not only that, Game Hunter will then be able to words are hard, be free to roam around the map a little more often. Just Game Hunter, there's really nothing you can do against an AD carry when you don't have ranged harass or poke back. Using the pillar as well. Just doing whatever he can to make Azuni's time in this lane just not fun in the slightest.
It's not going to be fun. Harpies is still going to be down for about another 30 seconds though, because we're a little bit delayed on when they respawn, because obviously everyone was ganking the duo lane at that time. You could already see everyone's in position there for Flash Game. Game Hunter does find that kill with the Desert Fury again onto Zune under the tower. I believe he impaled him into the tower, which is just rough times for Cabrakan. 0-4-0 now in the good jungle though. An invasion, and there's no escape.
Beads will be forced that backflip, so I'll get back under that tier 2 tower. They're going to try and do what they can, but right now they have been zoned off. Those left side Harpies. Right side are going to be respawning a little bit on a delay. Neith will be in position to potentially pick those up, but she needs to deal with this minion wave in mid as well. And with Ninja Bobat and Wolfie coming on over. Going to force him back in the tower. The Kraken going to secure that kill for Wolfie.
It is, and you can see Bushy's actually gone to the sky now. They're looking for more. They're going to dive down onto Deathwalker. The Shockwave buys a second, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, I suspect. As Shadow Feed does get the first kill of the game for Flash Gaming. Cataclysm coming out, though. He's going to just prevent Flurry Q from moving for a second, but no more than that. Bobat wants blood.
He does. Going to throw that wall. 1v2
like,
tower
whoa.
dive this early on probably wouldn't have gone too well. I guess he realized at the last second, just threw a wall out for the heck of it. And is going to
going aggressive in the right side again onto Cabrakan, trying to juke out those in hands that are starting to deal more and more damage thanks to that Heartseeker, as well as obviously the passive from Anhur being very, very strong. He's going for the kill again. Here we go. There's a tower, and that's a dead Cabrakan.
Yeah, just one more hit, and he will fall once again. Game Hunter right now 3-0-3 on that Anhur. And it's only getting worse and worse. A 1,600 gold lead right now, as well as a pretty significant 4-level experience advantage. He is very much online, and he is just going to be able to continue farming and pushing Azuni out. The problem is going to be for him. If they send somebody over to help, that just gives Spicy Waffles that much pressure on the remainder of the map. So they're really in a rough spot.
This is a dangerous sort of meta at the moment to go against Game Hunter, because he's played a lot of these Hunters before in the lane and knows most of the matchups. So it's kind of weird to have to go against him where he's like, well, what, we're playing Hunters again? Oh, I used to do that years ago. Let's just play it some more. It's no problem. I'll just pick Anhur, you know? I played every single Warrior composition. Mid lane, dive though. Yeah,
Blink Frost Breath was good. They're trying to chase this one down. Ninja Boba not concerned about the tower aggro at all. Got to find another kill for Game Hunter under that tower. Shards of Ice was used.
Shadow Q goes in though. He blinked in with that no escape. Shadow Feed does use the ultimate to buy himself some stats, but the stats are not going to keep him alive as Bobat goes in, takes the tower, and Game Hunter steals away his teammate's kill.
Speaking of stealing away, it's going to be an attack speed buff on the tail end of this fight as well. Azuni right side just trying to get whatever farm he possibly can, but if he's not careful, he's about to get rotated on in by 3 members of Spicy Waffles, and we've seen how this has gone 1v1 with help. Game Hunter probably going to be able to secure this kill quite easily. They didn't find the Impale, but the Whirlpool is going to block off that path of retreat. The stuns. The World Weaver is going to come across, catch Ninja Bobat. Not enough damage for that kill. Right now, though, Spicy Waffles have a firm grip in this match. They're not even concerned. They could have taken a free gold fear on the back of that one. Actually, they're not going to need to, as the surrender vote does come out. Spicy Waffles came out into a very, very strong early game start, and Spicy Waffle, or rather Flash Gaming, seemingly couldn't find a way back in.
No, the early invasion start on the right side just began the snowball effect that just happened across the map. Spicy Waffles, a very established team for themselves, good individual players as well as a good communication between themselves. This is why they're one of the top seeds to potentially take a spot in the SPL next season if they can get to the relegation battles first of all. At the moment though, through that game's end, it looks like they're still on the warpath to make it there. They're going to be in the next round though, in round 3, probably up against Team Illusion or Team Illusion or Last Pick Hype will be the ones they're facing. And so far, it looks like their march is going to continue.
Yep, we'll see how this one goes, guys. We'll be back here in just a few with the next matchup. Stick around, enjoy the music. We'll be back in just a few.